Please come with me on a quick journey to the past. It's the year of 1977. Generation X rules. The big three TV networks, ABC, CBS, NBC, and Hollywood, dominate the scene. In a different but similar way, Globo TV dominates the TV and advertising market in Brazil. And in theaters, there is Hollywood too. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, was released in May 1977 by 20th Century Fox and became a worldwide pop culture phenomenon. It cost $11 million and made $775 million box office worldwide till 2015. It was released in Brazil in January 1978, 6 months later. It was a time when there were structured windows. Films would stay, if successful, for months in the same theater. People would come over to see it again, and fans over and over. Only after a good 6 months, distributors would release it on VHS, DVD, cable, and finally, after a year or two, on TV. As French filmmaker, theoretical, and critic Jean Mitry said, each individual audience member is alone, by himself, looking at the world presented to him. Yet, this isolation does not separate the individual from the group. He does not communicate with his fellows, but he sees and feels with them, if not like them. Communication exists at the level of feelings and fascination. Now, back to the future. Star Wars The Force Awakens was released in December 2015, cost $200 million and made $1.557 billion in just a month. In Latin America, Europe, and Asia, hit the screens in the same week to avoid web piracy. Disney and Lucasfilm generated word of mouth on social media about Star Wars The Force Awakens long before the film was released, and they reached over 665 million people on the Star Wars SMU, social media universe, meaning Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube views all over the world. As social media boomed from 2007 on, these windows came closer, so producers could make their big bulk of money before piracy. Netflix began offering subscribers the option to stream some of its movies and television shows directly to their homes through the internet. We all know now that was a game changer. The exponential growth Netflix experienced in the following years and its unexpected decision to call the shots and become an original content producer set the landscape we see right now. On one side, we have traditional studios that woke up to the streaming surge like Disney and HBO. Old-timers with lots of experience and content to pick up the fight as internet boomers like Netflix and Amazon Prime dive deep into content production. A tide scoria. In 2021 Oscars, Netflix finally made it, grossing 7 Oscars. And if we team up Netflix with Amazon, which won 2, they won 9 Oscars against 10 from traditional studios. Disney with 5, Warner 3, and Sony Classic 2. Although Disney and Sony made the Big 5, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director, Best Screenplay, and Best Film, the internet boomers are in the same ballpark. Unfortunately, 2020 was the year screens went dark because of the pandemic. The theatrical experience came to a crossroads. On one hand, the pandemic just speeds up a tendency that has been growing for a while. People use different devices to see films, series, and any other content. From smartphones to 8K smart TVs, devices have been stealing audience from traditional movie theaters. On top of that, Netflix saw an unprecedented growth amid pandemic, and Disney Plus reached 95 million subscribers, 3 years ahead of schedule, while theaters are struggling to stay afloat. On the other hand, we must not forget that movies were always a breakthrough experience, breaking boundaries for eyes and ears, with sound,
you ain't heard nothing. You want to hear toot? All right.
color,
You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. You'll find he is a whiz of a whiz, if ever a whiz there was. If ever a whiz there was, the Wizard of Oz is one because.
3D, and sharing.
I've got something to say. I really love the...
So, what does the future hold? And that is our research. As for production, the streaming platform's money is welcome to independent producers, used to battle for financing and space in past decades. Better than this, with viewers' data well hidden inside their servers, Netflix, Disney, Amazon, and other players simply don't have to justify hits or flops to their stockholders. The increasing number of subscribers is good enough for them. Plus the evidence that there is still a lot of space to grow, since streaming accounts for just 27% of US TV screen time. Particularly in Brazil, according to Olhar Digital, 58% of our population access no streaming at all, and among those who are content consumers, 35% watches it through cable and 31% through old open TV. So probably theaters will have to raise the bar and get to another level. Despite the hard times for the movie theater industry at an all-time low, in the US, the same streaming players that are corroding the business are negotiating to acquire cinema chains and have all the windows of distribution in their hands. As for the theatrical space, the theater, some groundbreaking news are in sight. Immersive entertainment. Instead of being in the audience, you'll be inside the movie and maybe even play a character. As augmented reality and virtual reality advance in their technologies, the holographic image projection of content is becoming a reality for the near future. Among several experiments, the holocinema conducted by film industry all-time giants like Industrial Light and Magic, Skywalker Sound, and Lucasfilm is leading the way to the immersive cinematic experience. Of course, it is one possible future for theaters, but one thing is certain. The big screen will not go quietly into the night. Like a phoenix, out of its own ashes, it will reinvent itself once more for the delight of generations to come.